Hello friends, welcome to the class Bio with Alifa. Today we will study the steps involved in the process of nutrition in case of the animals. These steps will remain same both in case of the complex animals as well as in case of the simple organisms like amoeba. Complex animals are we human being, right? And tiger, like these we multicellular organisms are complex animals, and unicellular organisms are amoeba, paramecium, etc. Now today we will study the steps involved in the process of nutrition in case of the animals. The first steps is ingestion. First step is ingestion. Ingestion is defined as it is a process of intake of food into the body, or we can say the process by which food is taken into the mouth. The second step is digestion. Digestion means the completely breakdown of food into simpler unit by different enzymes, and it is ready for absorption. And absorption, the third steps of the nutrition, is where it is in case of the complex organism, it takes place in the small intestine where the villi are present, which absorb the food material, right? And with the help of blood, these important substances circulate to different parts of the body. Now fourth is assimilation. Assimilation means use of those important substances, or we can say vitamins or minerals which comes from the food, and they reach to different tissues, different cells, and they provide energy for us. They repair the cells and tissues. This process is called as assimilation. Now fifth or the last step in the process of nutrition is egestion. Egestion is defined as it is the process of removal of waste products from the body. In case of the human being, it takes place through rectum, which is the last part of the large intestine. Now we will study these 5 processes in detail in case of the complex animal, or we can say in case of the human being, right? Now in case of the human being, first the food will come into the mouth. First we eat food, it will come to the mouth. Then from mouth it will come to the esophagus, which is also called as food pipe. Then from food pipe, or with the help of food pipe from mouth, it comes to the stomach. From stomach it will come to the small intestine, where the absorption and complete digestion of the food material takes place. Then from small intestine it will come to the large intestine, and from large intestine it comes out from the body in the form of waste product like fecal matter, urine, right? Urine comes out through urethra, and fecal matter comes out through anus, or which is the last part of the large intestine called as rectum, right? Now we will study these steps in detail. I hope you people are understanding, right? We will study these all the process in detail. Now first step is ingestion. As we have studied earlier also, ingestion is defined as intake of food through mouth with the help of hands. We are chewing food, we are eating food, right? Now food is present in our mouth. Second is digestion. In our mouth, as you people don't know that in case of the human being, digestion starts from mouth. How? The question is how. In case of the mouth, 3 things are present, that is saliva, teeth, and salivary amylase enzyme, which is also called as ptyalin. Saliva helps in mixing of food. Teeth helps in chewing and grinding of food. salivary amylase, which is also called as ptyalin, which break down carbohydrate into small units, right? uh, Whenever we eat a piece of bread or a small piece of chapati, after some time, when we are chewing, after some time we feel a small or little bit of sweet taste, because that chapati or a piece of bread is made up of carbohydrate, and in the presence of this enzyme salivary amylase or ptyalin, that carbohydrate break down into small units. Now, through esophagus, which is also called as food pipe, right? So the walls of the esophagus contract and relax. Now, because of the contraction and relaxation of the esophagus wall, the food from mouth now come to the stomach. Stomach is a sac-like structure, as you can see in the diagram. It is a sac-like structure, right? The part of the stomach which is near to the heart is called as cardiac. The part of the stomach which is the largest part of the stomach is called as fundic, and the last part of the stomach is called as pyloric, right? Now here also you will see in the next diagram, here liver, gallbladder, these all the things are present, right? And below the stomach, or we can say in the lap of the small intestine, from here now the small intestine will begin. In the lap of the small intestine, a gland called pancreatic gland is present. Now stomach, now food is present in the stomach. Stomach will release the gastric juice, right, which helps in digestion also. Stomach releases the gastric juice. That gastric juice consists of HCl, hydrochloric acid, pepsin, an enzyme, mucus, right? These three things are present in the stomach, or we can say in the gastric juice, right? What are the function of the gastric juice, or we can say what these three things play their role, what are the roles played by these three things in the stomach, right? Hydrochloric acid, it provides acidic environment to the stomach. As the name indicates, hydrochloric acid, it's an acid, so it provides the acidic environment to the stomach, right? Second is pepsin. Now here in the stomach, pepsin is present in inactive form called pepsinogen. Pepsin is present in inactive form called pepsinogen, and in the presence of HCl, this pepsinogen converted into pepsin. So we can say only in case of the acidic environment this pepsin becomes active. This pepsin will not be active in the mouth, will not be active in the small intestine, because it needs, or it require acidic environment which is only present in the stomach. This pepsin enzyme helps in breaking down of this protein into small unit. Now third is the mucus. Mucus, it's a sticky substance. It protects the wall of the stomach from the acidic effect of the HCl. This mucus protects the wall of the stomach from the acidic effect of the HCl. Pepsin helps in breaking down of protein, right? Pepsin helps in breaking down of protein. Now these three things, after the stomach, then food will come to the small intestine, that partial breakdown food, not completely breakdown, partial breakdown food, because in case of the mouth, ptyalin enzyme is present. In case of the stomach, pepsin is present. So we can say that the breaking of carbohydrate and protein is partial, and in case of the lipid, it will come, the breakdown of lipid, and another example lipase is required, which is not present neither in case of the neither in case of the mouth nor in case of the small intestine, nor in case of the stomach. So in case of the small intestine, three juices are present. Now first juice is intestinal juice, second juice is called as pancreatic juice, and third is bile juice. What we call bile juice, this bile juice, right? This pancreatic juice has enzyme called trypsin. It is also present in an active form called chymotrypsinogen. Chymotrypsinogen, right? Chymotrypsinogen. Now this chymotrypsinogen converted into trypsin, and it break down protein into amino acids. Another enzyme called lipase, which is also present in the pancreatic juice, it comes from the bile juices secreted by the gallbladder and liver, both secret. Bile juice secreted by the gallbladder, and these are the bile salts secreted by the liver. ठीक है, तो bile is secreted by gallbladder, and bile juices are present in the bile. These bile break down into bilirubin and bilirubinin. Now lipase enzyme present in the pancreatic juice break down lipid into fatty acids and glycerol. And carbohydrate, another enzyme is also present in the pancreatic juice called amylase, which break down carbohydrate into dextrin. Similarly, the complete breakdown of these three things, carbohydrate, protein and lipid, takes place in the intestinal juice also, right? Now here in case of the small intestine, food is completely break down and it is ready for absorption. Now bile secreted by the gallbladder in the presence of bile juices break down into bilirubin and bilirubinin. Bile salts break down fat into small globules and make the digestion of the fat easier for the enzyme lipase, right? If the enzyme lipase will not, if these bile salts will not be present, the enzyme will become slightly passive. It will not play a very important role in case of the emulsification of the fat. Emulsification of fat means breakdown of fat into small unit, right? Breakdown of fat into small unit. If bile juices, as I told you earlier also, if bile juices will not be present, the action of the lipase enzyme will become slightly passive. Emulsification of fat will not be as such complete, right? We can say that enzyme lipase helps in breaking down of fat, but it needs these bile juices also for the complete breakdown or emulsification of fat. Now you can see in the diagram, this is the liver. Here is in the previous diagram, if you will see, here the stomach is present. Here what is present? Stomach. This is the diagram of the stomach. Here stomach is present. This is the liver. This is gallbladder, right? So both liver and gallbladder secrete their juices in the small intestine, right? Here this is the pancreas. In the, we can say, lap of the small intestine, this pancreas is present. So this gallbladder, these pancreas secrete their juices in the small intestine. Okay, now this is the large intestine, cecum, colon and rectum. Okay, rectum is the last part of the large intestine. Now third step is absorption. How the absorption of the food, now the food is completely break down, right? Not partially, it is it has been broken down into smaller unit. Now absorption of the food material takes place. Now in the villi, these are the finger-like projection, what we call finger-like projection, which are present on the wall of the small intestine. Here these finger-like projections will be present, and their function is absorption of food material. Now fourth is assimilation. Assimilation means absorb food from the small intestine reaches to different parts of the body through blood for tissues and cells repair, right? Now the food is completely absorbed by the blood. Now the assimilation will take place. Assimilation means use of important substance in the repair of tissues and cells. Now the last step of the process of digestion in case of the multicellular organism, this last step is called as egestion. It takes place through large intestine, and it is also called as removal of waste product from the body. Now through rectum, these waste product comes out from the body of the human being in the form of fecal matter, which is called as defecation. What we call defecation, right? Defecation. Now let's summarize this topic. The first step in the process of nutrition in case of the human being or multicellular organism, or we can say complex organism, is ingestion, right? Means eating of food. In the mouth, teeth, saliva, ptyalin, enzyme, these things are present as we have studied earlier. Now the food will come to the stomach. Here in the stomach, HCl, mucus and pepsin are present. Then from stomach it will come to the small intestine. In the small intestine, bile juices, pancreatic juices and intestinal juices are present. Now the food is completely broken down into a small unit. Now food will come to now absorption of the food takes place with the help of villi, which are present on the wall of the small intestine. Fourth is assimilation. Assimilation is called as repairing of cells and tissues. Now egestion means removal of waste product in the form of fecal matter. So this is all about the we can say process of nutrition in case of the multicellular organism. Thank you.